Welcome to Backyard Effects, the show with more cheap props and effect shenanigans than your budget could probably allow. It's a lot of stuff. This week we cover something rather thought-provoking. We're doing a thinking cap. Have you ever been in a situation where time was of the essence? A quick thought would save you? Maybe some sinister villain was doing some sort of mischievous shenanigans. How am I to know? Then you're in luck, because a thinking cap could save you. Not really. It's fake. It's a pretty easy build to modify to your heart's content. Or maybe, hopefully, you can at least take a couple of materials and scratch building techniques out of it and go on and build your own thing. Uncharted seas, yes! But after you build up a catalog of skills from all these BFX builds, past, present, and future, you'll be ready for the fun stuff. But first, let's hit up the pocket of poritude. $10 whole. Thanks, pocket of poritude. Now let's see what Mr. Hamilton can do for us today. You'll need a plastic hat, adhesive-backed craft foam, a touch light, a lightweight clay or modeling compound like Model Magic, something to sand with, glue, and paint. This brings us to the material breakdown, where I'll go over the major materials of the build and the pros and cons of using them. Now first we have craft foam, which craft foam is great. I mean, you can use it in a lot of things. It's pliable, you can cut it, you can put it on things. You can even get a little bit of heat shaping out of it, where you can press things into it and get designs in it if it's hot enough. You just have to be careful. The only problems with it are that it isn't the most durable thing in the world, so you do have to be careful with it about that. Now we also have the Crayola Model Magic, which the Crayola Model Magic I like using for backfilling a lot of like costume pieces, chest pieces, the ears in a Batman cowl I've used it for. What's good about it is that it works and it shapes like an air dry clay, but when it dries it's much lighter and it's still flexible, so it isn't as prone to stress cracking. The only problems with it are that if your details are too fine or you make your prop too thin, it does tend to shear pretty easy because of that flexibility, so you have to be careful with it for that. Now, back to the build. Simple time lapse, woo! First, I cut a border out of craft foam to cover up the gap between the light and the hat. Then I trimmed the brim off because that's what I was going for. Next, I attached the light and the border onto the hat. Then I dab glue on the plastic hat to help everything stick later. Next comes more craft foam. To build up a base for the brain, we just split it up into different sections, giving you 2 hemispheres and some general regions. Then I gave the outside of the foam a quick sanding. It'll give a slightly rougher texture for the Model Magic to stick to. Then I built up the outside of the brain with Model Magic. After giving my thinking cap a night to dry, it was time for paint. Do any little touch-ups, try it on for size, and you're done. Now that you have a prop, you'll need something to use it for, other than attracting strange looks when you wear it in town. Here's a test film to get those creative juices flowing.
every time.
Is that how you greet old friends?
He's still here.
I've told Dr. Biden long before, some bucket of bolts isn't gonna beat me. How's chess champion of Briscoe County worth, what, a few million on a cheap knockoff anyway? You're not even that evil. Just play your pieces. The doc made a couple improvements since you last saw me. Look, no offense to you, but the doc is the absolute worst, or maybe just the craziest villain I've ever seen. Check. What are you talking about? I am the best. I would have seen a check coming a mile over. Oh, finally did it. I finally beat you. Guess it was bound to happen. You finally beat me. But if you're gonna replace me, I got one little thing to tell you. Just come here. What did I ever do to you? Maybe next time you won't put a big button on your forehead to push. Little too easy. Yeah, your doc, definitely the worst villain of all time. See you around, buddy. Wait a minute. That'd be a checkmate, buddy. Yeah, definitely the worst villain of all time. There you have it, a basic thinking cap. You can go ahead and mold it as anatomically correct, or make it as strange as you want. Mix this build with something from a past BFX build, like the cyborg or the superhero costume, and you can have yourself something to the effect of a more disturbing cyborg with his brains coming out. You can add blood, make it all entertaining, or some supervillain that shoots mind bullets to kill his foes. You could even put an antenna on the back, have a remote control, and then there's nothing stopping your villain from controlling the minds of everyone around. And catch us in the next few weeks when we do things like a dollar store set of barn doors for your work lights. And I'll show you how to safely mold PVC with heat when we make a cursed mask.